Well, hello, my Metaverse friends, and welcome to our very first live episode, which I'm not even sure if it's playing right now, but we're just going to YOLO. I'm your host, Metamona, and as always, we're here to bring you the hottest topics in the metaverse with expert insights from our special guests. And speaking of our special guest, I am so excited to have my great friend Travis Wright here, or should I say Sir Lord Travis Wright is with me here today. Travis, how are things looking on that end? Are we playing live or is this just crickets right now? Tell me.
Well, I am. I just did a little peek over at the YouTubes, and it's still showing that thumbnail. So I don't know that it's actually working. See, first of all, congratulations on your very first show, doing it live. It does take some combination to be like, we're gonna just go with it, flow. And
that's
sometimes
right.
things don't work out optimally, but you know what? You make a little enhancements along the way, and you get mo better.
Exactly. And you know what? You're absolutely right. It actually, the link that I had provided didn't go live. But here's the good news. We do have a live link on the YouTube channel right now. So why don't we go grab that link, give it to our friends before we start, just so we don't leave them hanging. How about that? So why don't you take a second? I'm going to do the same thing. Let's just do a little tweet here. And give people this link instead. Here we go. And you can just share it. There we go. I'm going to tag you on it too. Travi.
There we go.
Travis, right?
The convergence of Web3 AI and NFTs, a revolution in progress.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, what do you know? We just don't have a thumbnail. Shh, it happens. All right.
You will have a thumbnail afterwards, though, so people can see it when it's no longer live, but the content is still fresh.
Hey, it's all good. Back at it. So thank you, everyone. It is my very live first show. And you know, Travis, why I haven't done live to this day? Let me tell you and the audience why. Because doing live news, and you know, I am a journalist. So when I came into this space, I started doing news. And I'm a one band woman, right? So I'm producing, writing, I'm doing from A to Z myself, and doing it live is extremely hard. But now that I'm doing more long form interviews, I said, you know what? It only makes sense to go live. So if people are wondering why now, is because it's very hard to do live news by yourself. It's possible, and I can do it, but here we are.
Folks, you may not know this, but she's got like her hands are on the controller. She's got a foot thing going on. She's like the Def Leppard drummer. I don't know.
I am. Well, not enough about me. Let's talk about you. I even forgot to introduce you properly. Travis, guys, is a founder of Cornetopia, one of my favorite Web3 book projects. If you didn't know, yes, we have book projects that we're going to talk about a little bit later. So obviously, he's an author, and he's also the host of his own podcast, Bad Crypto. And that is just to name a few of his many talents in Web3. But I'm going to let him talk about himself and his work. But finally, I'm so glad you made it. Welcome to my first live show. You are my first live guest.
LFG, this is great. Great to be here. Yeah, thank you for the kind introduction. Yeah, so I
Like,
think that, I've always remained curious as technology advances. I am a creative technologist. When I first got online back in 96, I was like, whoa. I've been online before that with the BBS, and the stuff was so slow and the dial up and I was like, oh God, give me a few years. I'll come back to this. So then I was at the University of Kansas in the computer center, and they had super fast internet. And the first time that I really got online, I stayed online. I was online for almost 36 hours. And I was like, this is ridiculous. What is going on? This is changing the world. And I learned HTML during that time. So by the first time that I got online, by the time that I was done, I had my first website built that I learned how to do. So I've
how
always,
old were you? How old were you?
I was in college. I was in college at the
Oh, so
time.
you were, yeah.
I'm
That's
super old now. Get off my lawn, Mona. So that was fun. And then it's like I started understanding, really in the early days of search engines, and like, wait a second, I can make websites rank really well if I just use the words. I'm going to put all the words, and I'm going to put it in a little div, and I'm going to move it off to the side and nobody can see it. And then guess what? I was ranking perfectly at the top of Alta Vista and Excite.com and Dogpile, all those really great things before Google, right? It seems like
yeah.
that's the internet age, the pre-Google days. And
It was
so then it was just fun. So I've always explored,
Web one. That was Web one.
Web one, yeah, and then paid
Yeah.
search, how that works. You can pay pennies and get clicks. You're like, what? And then mobile advertise, mobole search. How are people going to? I actually did my
Yep. Pay
first
per click.
social media campaign on Friendster back in the day. So I was like, ooh, I got to
Wow.
be on
You
social
are
media.
you are an OG. And we met actually at NFT NYC, and we've been besties since. You are a true digital marketer, I would say. And by the way, I've started reading your book. Very
You
cool.
have. Oh,
Yes. If you guys want to learn about digital marketing, this is a great book to read. It's on Amazon. Um, oh my gosh, why is the name escaping me right now?
what?
There he is.
Digital Sense was the original book that came
Thank
out with
you.
on Wiley. Or if
Thank
you like
you.
in Spanish, in Chinese, walk wish walking one mile, Digital Sense. It translates there. So, working with it was what's really interesting, and it does tie into what's going on now. Working with a real book company, like, how little you make when you actually are selling, when you were working with like Wiley, for example. I think we got like 95% of it went to Wiley, right, of the sales, and then 5% was split between me and Chris Snook. So we got like 2.5%. What's crazy was I launched this digital book, Cornucopia, and it's the very first NFT serialized book that's being released chapter by
Don't
chapter.
don't even say anything about it. You gave away. No, I'm just no. You
Yeah,
can you can you can
you
you can
said founder
introduce
of
it.
Cornucopia, and so I thought you gave it.
I did, but and that is one of my favorite book projects, honestly, because I didn't even know we have Web3 NFT based book, and you told me we do. I didn't know that. But
Mhm.
what makes this? First of all, what I wanted to say about the book you have in your hand is I always say you're not going to get rich from having a book. Your book is credibility, right? And you really give a lot of information and demonstrate what digital marketing and this digital economy that we're living in is all about. And so I just want to tell the viewers, go grab yourself one of those books on Amazon. It's a great book. I'm doing Audible. Great information. Thank you for that. Back to Cornetopia, and I
Well, real
first
quick,
got,
let me say
yes,
something about Digital Sense.
yes, yes, yes,
One of
yes.
the things when we wrote that book, we were like, how can you write a marketing book in 2017 that's going to be relevant in 2027, right? Because the stuff changes so quickly with different marketing technologies and all these other different things. But really, it's about customer experience and how do you make those customers happy. You can use certain, tools, certain tricks, certain strategies to make that happen. This book was about social media strategies. How does that work? Marketing technologies and customer experience. That customer experience aspect of the book will never go away because keeping your customers happy is something that's very, very important. Now, once I wrote the book with Chris Snook, once we were finished, I started doing all this research into the emerging technologies. Like what at the very end of the book, it's like, what's next? And then that's where I started understanding blockchain, where we started understanding more so crypto. Even though I got into Bitcoin back in 2010 and I mined some Bitcoin back in the day, I didn't value it. And then when my computer crashed, I didn't even remember to get it off of my computer. So I lost 55 Bitcoin back in the day that's in a dumpster somewhere in Kansas. And I was just
Never lost.
yeah, it is what it is. I think, well, you know what? It's never too late. But seriously, 55 Bitcoin is going to be a lot with these new Bitcoin ETFs that's coming out. So that's going to pain me in the future. But it is what it is. But I started seeing it. And then that's when I was having conversations with Joel Comm. And then we launched Bad Crypto from there. And then Bad Crypto's turned into these other things because it's all about these future technologies that are so interesting.
Of
And it's all
course.
emerging.
Yeah, and I think you've done a really great job of incorporating some of these technologies into that digital marketing that you talk about in your book. And I wanted to have you on the show because I started this series on the convergence of Web3 and AI. Obviously, there's a lot of AI buzz right now, and I figured you're actually the man for the job to teach us about how AI is making Web3 better when it comes to NFTs. And you really have demonstrated this with your Cornetopia project. So I figured maybe we can start with Cornetopia first. This is, again, one of my favorite Web3 book series project. And if you guys don't know about it, to give you a quick rundown of what it is, and Travis is going to do a better job, but for me, it's kind of like Web3 version of, think of Harry Potter meets kind of South Park and then like Goonies, right? It is very educational, it's very entertaining, and it's so darn cute. But what really stands out about this project and what Travis has done such an amazing job is that it's a depiction of a true NFT utility. And also, I feel like you've really incorporated a lot of the elements that Web3 has to offer, and now AI into it as well. So maybe I'll give you the ship here and
Okay.
have the screen, show us the project, walk us through, and explain to us how you kind of use NFTs and AI and all the Web3 elements here.
All the Web3. Well, thank you so much, first of all, for that, because it's been a fun ride. And having, started Bad Crypto almost 6 years ago in July of 2017. And then we've been working on that show for a long time. And we were the very first podcast, unless nobody has ever told us that we're incorrect about this, the very first one to even mention NFTs back in 2017. CryptoKitties came out. And I was like, oh my God. So this little JPEG is going to have sex with this JPEG and they're going to have baby JPEGs. Oh, that is brilliant.
Oh
Oh,
my God, that's
there's going to be some stuff to that. And so
yeah.
that's really where it sort of came out. And so I'm going to show my screen here. This is one of the things that we did with from our community. So if you're part of Bad Crypto, then you can actually get a membership token to our site, right? So these were one of the things that we were giving away. Let me actually go to the full collection here. So here's the Bad Crypto community, and some of the assets on the site we have a bunch of them that we've given away. But for example, all the way down here, the very first one is this one. And so if you have this membership token right here, which we got 650 members of, then you actually are able to get additional drops from our platform. Now, this wasn't a profit center, right? We were like, okay, $3.78. We really just wanted to get rid of the bots. We didn't want a bunch of bots out there. And so when I started working on playing around with this, what I did so we always have this joke on Bad Crypto about corn. Corn's the only food that you can see once, and then a couple of days later, it visits you again. And we all love corn, and no one can digest it properly. And so this was actually my very first piece of AI artwork that I did. So I was like, Joel was like, hey, let's create an NFT to drop for our people. And I go, okay. So I just went on AI and I was like, which was weird because I said, give me a corn wizard, a very regal. I went on Midjourney 3 at the time. Now get this, folks. Midjourney 1 came out in March of 2022. Midjourney 2 came out just like a month and a half later. Midjourney 3 really came out in
So
July of
quick.
2022. Yeah. And now
You
next
can't
month,
keep
we're going to
up.
have Midjourney 6. Look how fast that is. So
Yeah, you can't keep up.
it's crazy. This right here was done on Midjourney 3, Mona. And so we had fun with it. And then we gave it to some people who had originally signed up. And then if you hadn't signed up, you could still claim it. But a lot of people didn't know to claim it, right? So in the middle of March, at the end of March, the 100th one was finally claimed. And so Joel says, hey, drop off an NFT to those folks. And I said, what kind? He goes, I don't know, figure it out. And so what I did was I created these little corn wizards. So here's King Shucks the second, and here's
I love. Will you show them?
Oh, am I not
I
showing
love
that
this.
screen? Let me share. Let me change the tab. Stop the
Thank
share.
you.
I thought I was
Because
going.
I
Thank you for
love
stopping me.
these little characters are just to die for. Guys, check this out. Look at these things.
Yeah,
Aren't
so
they
here's
so
King Shucks.
cute?
Yeah, they're fun.
So
Look at this
these
guy.
were these characters made with Midjourney?
These were made all with Midjourney.
This is
Yep.
you, Sir Lord Sweetcorn.
that
I love
is
it.
the version.
The characters are so cool. And when you guys listen to the story, Travis has these Twitter spaces where they actually go through the story and read it. And you just see these characters come to life. And there's just so much opportunity with these characters, not just NFTs, but I mean, I was telling Travis, when cartoon, when
Right.
physical book. Yeah, there's just so many opportunities with what you guys
Mm-hmm.
have done here.
Now, this
Um,
right here's something that's cool, Mona, that a lot of people, I don't know that anybody's done this. This could also be a first. But so the original, so I made those corny wizards, and then those 100 people who had Captain Corn, they all got dropped one of those 10 wizards. There was 10 of each one, and they all got dropped one of those 10. Now, then I said, oh, well, somebody's going to be upset because there's no women in there. And I was just making joke. I was just having fun with Midjourney. I go, you know what? I need to make some corn maidens for them. And then I was like, let me go. And then it just turned into this whole world. And so then I started talking to the community members. Only members who had the NFT could even come into the community and we could communicate. So I said, let's start writing the story about Cornytopia, and the community would vote on it. And so of those 100 original ones, about 40 of them went into the Discord, and about 20 of them voted at least 5 times on different subchapters as we were building out the story. And what I did was give them each 0.1% ownership in Cornytopia. So I gave away 2% of the total franchise, whatever it could be down the road. I just gave it away. They didn't pay any money up until this point, Mona. They got that Captain Corn for free. They got the Corn Wizard for free, and then they helped out and did this, and they got that for free.
hey,
So
that's what happens. That's what happens when you're first, my friends. That's why everybody wants to be the first, right? In these projects. And that's why, it's so important that you do your research on project and you meet founders right here. We bring them to you so you can really see who they are, what they're about, what they're trying to do. And I just love projects that incorporate more than just one element of Web3. I mean, you have like you said, you guys even have a token. You have NFTs, you have token. Is Corn token, yes?
Well, we're looking to maybe build a corn token. We don't have a corn token right now. And for a second, excuse me, I lost my windows. I have too many monitors. Like, which window? So
Same
we're
problem
looking
here.
at maybe doing a corn token. It has to be right, right? So the thought is that in this world of corn, like what is Cornytopia? Why does it even matter? It's cool, these little corn wizards. Well, when you look at all the indoctrination and all the stuff that's happening to our youth, I kind of look at this as like one of my favorite quotes of all time has been, you become who you hang around. You hang around successful people, you tend to become one. If you want to fly with the eagles, you can't be flocking with the turkeys, right? You can't be
exactly.
You got if you're the turds are going to try to get you in the toilet with them if you don't flush them. So you got to flush them ahead of time, right? And so I tell my kids this, and I'm like, this is important. So the thought would be is this little corn kingdom could be, it's sort of a Trojan horse for teaching morals and values, right? And then problem solving skills, critical thinking skills. And what I think is so important is emotional intelligence management. A lot of people really don't know, like, you get mad and angry, you get your heart broken or something happens, and it can just make some people bitter, and then it makes them an asshole. And so you're like, how do you avoid that? And then you got all these parents who are maybe immature and now they're having kids, and then it's like we got to create some uplifting
You,
stuff to kind of stop the slow the
it
roll. And
is. And it's visually too. You're doing that visually. And I've always said Gen Z, they want to be visually entertained and they're learning visually. So you're certainly on the right track there. I want to bring us back to AI because you're incorporating it not only in Cornetopia, but in your other projects as well. And what we're really seeing happen here is that AI is making processes obviously much more efficient. And it's making user generated creations more democratized for the masses because prior to AI, if you wanted to create an NFT collection, you had to have a design or 3D modeling skills, or you had to hire people, right?
Mhm.
But now with AI, machines are doing much of this heavy lifting, and all you and I have to do is make the production ready. And I think a lot of your work is a great example of that. Will you show us some of that underlying processes or some of the techniques that were involved in some of the work that you do outside of Cornetopia? Because you've even been teaching me some stuff. So I want you to pull up some of that work you do and kind of show everyone how you do it. What is that process like?
So I would say this is that I maybe come from a different angle of looking at it, because I started out really becoming pretty good at graphic design. I've always liked to make things look really cool. Like even my home, I have a little design, some design sensibilities there. So I think that's where that creative technology side comes in. And plus, I'm a tinkerer, so I like to play around with stuff. I'm very curious, and so I'll go in and I'll dive in. So, for example, when Midjourney came out and I finally understood it, you got to install it into Discord, right? And so you can create your own server in Discord. I showed you how to do that. So you created your own, your sort of Mona Discord, right?
Yep.
Then you got to know, you got to put Midjourney in there. Then once you start learning about how Midjourney works, it can do some other things very cool. Like you can put things on top of that inside your Discord. And one of your questions was, well, why do you got to use Discord? And I said, well,
Why
I
do
think it's,
you have to use this? And a lot of people don't
yeah,
know what Discord is.
mm-hmm,
You know that, right? People
yeah.
don't know
Well,
what Discord is.
that's probably true. Yeah, I think
Uh,
if you're tuning into this show, you probably know what Discord is.
If you,
I would,
but I have a lot of, newcomers and I have a lot of mainstream and
yeah.
Discord, what would you Discord is like Telegram, right?
I would say Discord is like a super forum for your community,
There you go.
right? I would say
Yes, there
that's
you go.
what it is. And then you can have these bots that do certain things. And so that's one of the reasons why Midjourney is in Discord, because if not, you would have to go off and learn how to do some Python stuff and open up your command prompt, download a GitHub, and it's just like I've had to do that. I tried to figure out Auto GPT and I figured it out, but oh my God, I was like,
Which is Travis, that's like so advanced for mainstream
yeah,
audience,
nobody
but
wants to do that.
we have
That's
to
why they put it in
also
Discord. They make it easy.
right, and we also have to recognize that we're still early on. I'm sure this is not only going to be offered in Discord in 2 years, and even less than that, in less than a
A
year
new one's coming
probably.
out. A new one's coming out, Mona. I
Yeah,
think,
but
as I said,
take us
yeah.
in, Travis. Show us kind of one of these processes of using Discord. Like face swapping is what you're doing in
Okay,
Discord.
that's one thing. That's one thing that I do. Let me actually show you this screen right here. First of all, let me show you what it is in case you want to know how it works. So this is called Insight Face. Okay, I would suggest if you want to learn how to do the face swapping with this technique, and you understand Midjourney, go on YouTube and look and see how it works. Okay. And what you do is, this is basically, you allow this bot to come into your Discord server where you're doing other stuff. Okay.
Yep.
So that's step one. And this right here goes into just some really deep. Oh, it does this, and it acknowledges your face, and then it looks at it from all these angles, and then it's unbelievable. Like some of the stuff that I've done, just even in preparation for this show, like you and I kind of cracking jokes back and forth, and I was like, hold on a second, let me do this. This will be funny. Just sometimes it's just like I just want to get a hilarious rise out of you to see how you're going to respond, because it's normally pretty funny.
But it's multiple steps, because even when you and I, and we're going to show it in a minute when Travis is.
I'll pop it open here real quick. So can you see my screen here?
Yes, we can.
All right. So you see here, I got Queen Elizabeth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what I would do on this is, like, first of all, I have to save the ID of the person's face. So basically what I would do then.
This is in Discord. You're in Discord right now.
I am in Discord right now. Yeah. I'm actually in my Cornytopia Discord, which I have all kinds of different rooms. And I have my own area down here where I'm just doing all AI stuff in these different channels. And then I allow my NFT holders to actually watch me do some of my AI stuff, so they can actually see what's going on, which is kind of fun. So if I wanted to program Mona's face in, what I had to do was I went to her Instagram. I took a photo of her when she was kind of looking towards the camera, smiling. I then saved her command to saved ID Mona1. I uploaded the photo, and then now it's in there and it's set. So then when I come in and I say, okay, I got to right click on this photo that I just dropped in. And then I said, okay, I want to do an image swap right here. Ba-boom. And then what it does is it comes down and says, all right, this is happening. It's in the queue. But I actually already did this and swapped out your face already. So, but look at that. The light shading, Mona. It's like, it's unbelievable. I couldn't do this in Photoshop in a few hours, but I can do this with this process right here in just moments.
Oh my gosh. This has made me
lethal. This has made me lethal because I'm a joker, right? And I like to crack jokes. And then so if I think of something's funny, then I'll immediately, like, if I see a tweet on something that's relevant, then I can go in, boop, 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 switch out something, boom, drop a funny within 5 minutes.
Which you did get dangerous. You know how you got dangerous? You took that to another level, which I helped you in this next one. We collaborated together. Travis took that photo and we took it to a whole nother level, which I'm going to show you guys, and Travis is going to explain how he did that. Should we show them Mona Lisa and then Travis the A? Okay.
For sure. Show Mona Lisa, because this is always funny. It's always like, how do you put fun photos with Mona and create something hilarious? And then I send it to her and I go, oh, send me your voice as if you're Mona Lisa. And then you could even use ChatGPT and be like, in the style of Mona Lisa, William Shakespeare, blah, 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 talk about the metaverse. I don't even know what you typed, but you sent me an audio that I then used, and I'll show you guys that process here in a second. But go ahead and show it.
Well, I'll just say this. I'll add this to it. So what I did, I did exactly what Travis just explained. I went to ChatGPT and I told it to create me a VO, which is a voiceover of Mona Lisa. I wanted Mona Lisa to speak in mid-century language. And then I asked it to talk about the metaverse and explain what the metaverse is. ChatGPT gave me a script, a 10-second script. I then did the recording, which I could have not done the recording. There is an AI actually platform that will do the VO for you. It just needs a sample of your voice, right? So I actually went and recorded my voice, but if you want to skip that process, you can have AI do a VO for you in your exact voice. I sent that to Travis, and this is what we came up with.
Greetings, dear souls. I, Mona Lisa, transported from the 16th century to unravel the metaverse's mysteries. Lo and behold, a realm where avatars frolic and dreams sprout digital wings.
Okay, that's not gonna. It's not gonna. It's. We did it on a vertical
Yeah.
screen, and it's horizontal. And
Well, when we did it
when
in the
we're,
preview before the show, it seemed to
I
work.
know
So
it did it. It did it. Let me try it again. Let me try it one more time. It doesn't let me go to. Um. Oh, you know what? I know why. Because we're live. It doesn't let me change orientation when we're live. Darn it!
ah,
Darn it! Darn it! But you guys get the idea. Well, I wanna play the Travis too. Sorry, guys, that you only see half of it. But
you
at
can see
least
the
you can
bottom of her
hear.
lip moving.
But just for a second, I just want you guys. Sorry that you can't see the whole thing. Restream
You know what?
doesn't
I
let
think I
me.
might be able to showcase it with the app that I use to build it in. Want me to share my
They might
screen?
not be able to hear it if you play it because your audio won't go into the restream feed
Okay.
unless, yeah, it won't work. But hey, I'm just gonna play it. You're only gonna see part of Travis's body. I'm sorry, but at least you get. I want you to get a feel for it. Here we go.
Lastly, thou speakest of this augmented reality. Worlds within worlds, dreams within dreams. 'Tis a jest, is it not? Thou mockest me with the promise of a queen that I cannot see, I cannot touch, and I cannot cut off her head? Are you serious?
Thou
I wish you
mockest me,
could.
Mona.
I wish you guys could see the whole thing. I have it on my Twitter, so you guys can see mine, and he has it on his Twitter too. But I wish you could see because even the eyes
Well,
follow
so
your
let me show
eyes.
that real quick. Then I'll go ahead and pull up the this particular page,
Yes,
which would be this one right here. Here we go. So can you see my screen here?
here. There you go. Yes.
All right. This one would probably be one of those. Let's take a look.
You might not hear Travis's audio, but at
And
least you can
what
see.
devilry is this cryptocurrency? Am I wont to bite a doubloon to verify its value? But how dost one bite a bitcoin?
How dost one bite a Bitcoin?
Yeah, so I
Mona?
don't know if you guys can hear when he plays it. Anyways, you get the point.
Can you hear me speak though?
Yes, I can hear
Here
you
you go.
speak.
It's
Greetings, dear
Mona.
souls. I,
Meta Mona.
Mona Lisa, transported from the 16th century to unravel the metaverse's mysteries. Lo and behold, a realm where avatars
I don't
frolic
know
and
if the audio
dreams
is going
sprout
through, but
digital
Yeah, I don't know if
wings.
the audio is going
It's
through
a
or not,
grand
but it's just
tapestry.
kind of fun. You can see how the process, how I was able to take that to then, move them out. It does that app does it automatically for you.
Travis, the eyes follow you. Like if she's looking at you. It's so crazy. So
Yeah.
we used Chat GPT, and I used Chat GPT to do the VO. You used Discord face swap AI.
Mm-hmm. I
Did
pulled
we
in
use
Mona Lisa,
Midjourney?
did the face swap. Yep.
Did we use Midjourney? We didn't use
Didn't use
Midjourney.
Midjourney at all on that one. Well, no, I didn't. I just used the bot that did the face swap. Then once that Meta Mona Lisa, that's Meta Mona Lisa actually.
That was
Once
Meta
Meta
Mona
Mona
Lisa.
Lisa is done, then I took that into d-id.com, and then I uploaded that photo. It saw the face. Then I uploaded your VO and then hit generate. That thing generated that video in less than a minute. That video
It's
was done.
incredible. And I told Travis, I said, the moment I saw the Mona Lisa and King Travis the Eighth, my mind went into future history books in schools, like the education system, because truthfully, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. What I just want to say is Gen Z, they're learning visually, right? So if King Travis the Eighth is going to teach me the history in that manner, I'm going to learn so much faster than reading. Gen Z is not going to read a book. I promise you
Mhm.
that. They don't Gen Z, they don't do this anymore, right? They do this. They want to do this.
Right, right.
This is an amazing way of teaching to the next generation. There's so many different facets and so many different ways this can be used. But what I want to ask you, Travis, if people want to do something like this, if they're interested in incorporating AI into their graphics or NFT creations, what are some of the platforms, tools, resources that you suggest right off the bat that they need to download and then go to YouTube and learn how to use it?
Yeah. I would say this is if you have the creative suite from Adobe, like the new Adobe Photoshop, the beta version, not the final latest version, but if you go in, there's a way you can go in and check your beta apps and then download that. You download the new Photoshop beta. It has a generative AI feature in it. It has become so handy for me because I'm going through and I'm trying to create all of these stories and all these things for the overall story that I'm telling, right? And even this is this the one right here? I can even probably show this right here of let me share my screen here real quick, because this is really what this new generative AI within Photoshop can do. You can create something on Midjourney, right? And you can swap a face. I've done this multiple times now where I've gone into Midjourney, made something, swapped out a face, then took it into Photoshop just to clean it up. And the queen that I have in the story, Lady Buttersilk, I found her perfect. I created the perfect face, but then she was like holding a basket of oranges, and I was like, I don't want that. But I go, you know what? Technology will be better in a month, 2 months down the road. I'll be able to fix that. I'm not going to worry about it right now. And so today I was actually able to finally fix that. So let me show my, I'll do my whole screen here. Here we go.
And I love
I'm
that.
in Photoshop.
That's my face. You took my face.
Yeah, this was it. I did a metaverse thing. Then I swapped out your face and I was like, this could potentially be something that we would want to do. And, and kind of change some things up. And so here's how great this sort of thing is. If I say, you know what, I don't really like this right here. I don't know what that is. I'm just going to generative fill that. And then so it takes a little bit of time to go through, maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds. And then what it does is it takes out that area that you just highlighted. I didn't tell it anything. I just highlighted it. And there it is. Now it's gone.
Wow.
And it gives me three different options. I can have that as an option, or I can have that as an option, or I can just turn that off and leave that back on. I don't like that, though. I think that's better. So I just cleaned that up. But
before, you had to do this in Photoshop. What you just did was 10 times faster if I had to do that in Photoshop.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then, so say, for example, here's my Cornutopia people, right? And you see right here, we got Queen Buttersilk right here. She's very beautiful. I loved her face. It was exactly what I wanted. But I was like, what the hell are these oranges? I didn't say oranges. I said, give me a full shot. And so look at this. I did this. I generative AI'd the rest of her body.
No way.
Yeah, I took that exact image right there and then just went in and then generated her shirt and her cut. And I said, give me some nice legs and some shoes. And now I made that. And then I took that into another image where I'm putting them into the book. So
generative AI decided what the remaining of her body was going to look like based on what the top looked like, right? Yeah. You remember for a long time Meta, they didn't have the lower body. That's all that was missing. They just needed some AI to fix that problem.
Just needed some AI, them feet up. Yeah. So one thing I've done when I first got that Photoshop, like, what is the cool thing I can do with AI? Well, I made extended album covers. Like I would take Abbey Road, and here's Abbey Road, and then I would extend it, and then I would use generative fill to fill in around it, and then it always gives you 3 options to look for, and then I'm like, nah, that's pretty good, but that part sucks, and then I would just highlight that part that sucks, regenerate it, and then boom, get it to a point to where I like it, and then it's good. So think of this, Mona. As somebody who's creating NFTs, I could create that sort of queen that I have right there. I could go in and I could highlight her eyeballs, and then I could tell it, put sunglasses on. And then it would put some sunglasses on. And then there would be 3 different versions. Each one of those could be a trait, a different version of an AI NFT. And So I was playing with that earlier on some things, and I was just swapping it out, and depending on how much energy or how
Dude,
much memory you have on your computer, it can get too full if you have too much generative AI stuff going on. So be aware of that.
of course, I can imagine the workload that your computer has to the burden of that load. But what this really brings to my mind is, I remember 2 years ago when people wanted to make NFTs, they had to go look for an artist, right? Everybody was like, "Oh, who can draw me whatever?" Now it seems like you don't even need an artist. You can just create an NFT collection via AI. As a matter of fact, and I want to show your NFT collection. You did a Queen Elizabeth's NFT collection with AI. Do you mind bringing that up and showing that to us? Because I want to ask you, in what specific ways did AI enhance that NFT creation process? What did you do there? Let's bring that up and show the NFT collection, and have you walk us through what you did there. Let me
Sure.
share your screen for
Is
the
it sharing?
viewers. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. This is so beautiful, and I hope you guys can see the details of this. Can you click on one? Will you click on one? Yeah, I mean, stunning. This could be like art on Louvre walls. Like, this is museum worthy. Talk to us about the process here and how AI
Yeah.
did
Well,
this.
well, that was the day. The day the Queen died was the day that I really got into Midjourney. Midjourney. This is Midjourney 3. Think about this. We're on Midjourney 5.1 now, and so by going in and just telling it what prompts to use will generate this. I like this style. It's sort of a Renaissance masterpiece painting style. So I would just tell it that while I was, creating this, and I would be like, all right, it's the Queen's funeral. And then I would just give different details so that it would give me different images. And I was like, well, she was in charge for 70 years. So let me create 70 different potential ones. Some of these they're just really beautiful to me. I just had so much fun building these out, and didn't sell a whole bunch, but I didn't actually promote it that way. This was me diving deep, exploring my curiosity around AI and creating NFTs from it based on a current historical event. And so that was it. That was the process. I had a lot of fun doing it. And some of these are way cooler than others. Now I could go in and actually
Click
take
on
this.
that one. Yeah, that's
I
a
could
good
take
one
this
right
one
there.
right here, which is really kind of morbid, but I could swap that out and put Queen Elizabeth's face there if I wanted. I could put Mona's face
And
there.
make it talk. And make it talk.
Yeah.
That's very morbid. Now,
Yeah.
Travis, would you say that using AI in your NFT project, does it help the value in any way of that NFT?
I would say that art right now, art that is done by artists is probably worth more. But I think that there's some we're really early in the stages of AI. So I don't even know how early, like that was done in September, that Queen Elizabeth one. That's a pretty early AI art collection. And so maybe down the road it could be worth a lot more. I don't know. But I was mostly having fun with it. I wanted to understand it, because if you hear a lot of people talking about AI, it's mostly doom and gloom, like, oh my God, everybody's going to lose their job. AI is taking your work. Well, AI is going to augment you if you're a creative person. And the more that you play with it and the more that you learn, like, I feel more creative now, Mona, than I've ever felt
Of
ever. So
course.
as a creative technologist, it really sort of sets my creative juices on fire, especially if I have sort of an inspiration or something that I'm working on, like, oh, we're going to do this show. Let me make some funny little Mona faces on things, right? So it's like, you get
Same.
the creative juices flowing. It's really fun.
Well, it's really doing the things that we weren't able to do before, right? Just like I said earlier, it's doing all the heavy lifting, and all we have to do is put the finishing touches on it, which is making us way more efficient. Way more
Yeah.
efficient. And then it's
Yeah.
giving the opportunity that we didn't have before. I always wanted to have my own NFT collection. I wanted to have all the Metamonas reporting but I was like, who's going to draw those for me? But now, I mean, we're going into Discord and Midjourney, and we're swapping faces, and we're recording. AI is recording it VO for us, and next thing you know, and literally, how long did it take us to do that? 30 minutes.
Once
We
I have the
had
process down, so now the process when I'm doing it on Midjourney, if I'm trying to make a metaverse thing, I have a nice little prompt, and then it's generating a person that kind of looks like you, but then I'm able to do that face swap, and then I'm just so blown away by how amazing that face swap is. It even matches the shading and the lighting, and it's just so good. And now I think I
it's
probably
so
have 10,
precise.
15 different Mona sort of metaverses. And then we did some from the 1920s. Like, what would a 1920s metaverse time traveler Mona look like? And it would look like this. And so that's what I think is it. I would say this. Here's where I think that AI is so powerful is Chat GPT 4 to figure out how to market your NFTs effectively or to build a business plan around it. It's so good at that. Having Chat GPT 4 is like having the super assistant 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anytime I want it. That super assistant is there. It's
Yeah.
almost like there's 10 Travises now. It really is. It's like I just
So
need
let's say,
collecting that data and putting it somewhere where I can manage it.
Chat GPT 4, Discord for face swapping, Midjourney. What was the other one?
For the face moving.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
Those are some of the main ones that I'm using and playing around with right now. There's another app that I like to use called Kyber, KAIBER.ai. That does really crazy AI videos. And so if you're interested in the stuff, is just like start paying attention to people who are talking about AI creative stuff. Matt Wolf, he's a dude out there killing it with content. We interviewed him a week ago. He's just brilliant and very friendly and affable, but he's always sharing his processes. Anytime I've ever wanted to know how something was done, I just pinged him and he would literally tell me. Like most people,
and anytime I want to know, I ping. And anytime I want to know, I ping Travis. Just FYI.
I am a
Travis,
shit figure outer. I will figure things out. That's how my
you
brain
are a
works.
shit figure outer. I want to talk about real quick before the time goes by so fast. I want to talk about challenges because there are many still. Just the fact that we have to go inside Discord to use face swap AI is a problem. What are some of the challenges that you see right away that we still have to mitigate in order to fully utilize AI into some of these Web3 elements like NFTs?
I think there's a little bit of a learning curve, right? And so it's sometimes
100%.
it's intimidating for some people to try to figure out what the hell's going on. Like, whoa, they get a little freaked out. I think that the overwhelm of not even knowing where to begin, I think, is a little scary. So I wouldn't say, hey, go and do Midjourney and GPT and this and that, and I start off on one and just start asking it questions and then doing video, researching videos about it. Like for me, I don't play a lot of video games. I don't watch a lot of stupid TV. For me, if I'm watching something, I'm educating myself in some way, or I'm reading something, I'm learning, I consume information. So not a lot of people are as in that space as me, but I don't think that matters. I think that there's so many great pieces of content out there, and you can start doing it. And I would say this too, is that Queen Elizabeth thing. That's not even one of the coolest NFTs that we've done. The coolest one is Joel and myself. We launched this, and his son and my son launched this thing called Blockchain Heroes. We launched this in the year 2020 before anybody was doing anything. We launched all these really cool NFTs and built packs, and you can open up packs. There's a lot of stuff that was happening on Wax. So I just spend a lot of time consuming information about the space so I can learn more, so that I can teach others about what's going on. And another thing that I've done that I think could be a really great asset for you guys is this particular link right here.
By the way, sorry, I didn't know you were sharing your screen earlier, and I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't? Okay. I was
Yeah,
showing
this
that.
is,
I'm showing my screen
guys,
again right now.
you need to follow this right here. This is Travis's link tree, and he has it. I was so impressed by this link tree. Holy shiznikes. The amount of stuff you've done is incredible. This right here, Travis should really charge everyone for viewing this. I'm being serious. This is resources that you've never had before. I'll let you talk about it. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, I would say this is that one of the things that I do every year at the beginning of the year, normally in January, is I start going on Google and using a command, file type :PDF, and then 2023 trends. Like I want to know what's going on. What happens, when you start doing that, that's what I've been doing is Web3 trends, Web3. I want to know, what is Deloitte saying? What are these other top, Ernst and Young? What are all these other ones sort of thinking about when it comes to this? Now, though, Mona, and the power of ChatGPT and even some of these plugins that are available, we can plug these PDFs into our own database and then start pinging it and asking them questions. So I've been compiling all these amazing Web3 PDFs, and now I'm putting them into my own database. And then I'm able to, with ChatGPT 4's brain, and then plugging in all of my data, now I can extract really cool data that a lot of people are not able to do. And I think that as you grow in this space and start learning this, you better start figuring out AI. AI is a part of Web3. Web3 is AR, VR, crypto, NFTs, Metaverse, AI, all that stuff.
Those
It's
are
a
the
component.
elements. Yep. Components, elements, exactly. And there's a lot of conversation right now. CoinDesk just came out with an amazing article on, can AI and Web3 make each other better? And the truth is, yes. I think it's too early to compete and say it's either AI or it's either Web3, because what Web3 is offering is in the next iteration of internet, which is ownership based content ownership, democratizing creation, is this next iteration of internet. And now we're adding AI into it. And as we start to close here, I want to ask you this. We know that AI and Web3 can make each other better, but what is that big potential that you see, say, 5 years from now, when we've gotten rid of these kinks out of Web3 and we know exactly how we're going to use these features? What is that big potential that we're going to see from the marriage of these two, AI and Web3?
So before the robots kill us, like what's going to happen right before
Or,
then? Right before then.
that's the next iteration.
That's after that. That's the worst case.
That's the
So
next iteration. Yeah.
yeah. So I would say this is that think about the internet 1.0, 2.0. The internet's been relatively flat. It's kind of a Merkle tree, but it's 2D. And then simultaneously, we've had these video games that's been coming up, and now you got Unity and Unreal Engine and all this stuff. And these are these little 3D components. We're reaching the point of convergence where the web will become 3D spatial, and every little piece of the physical world will have a digital counterpart, a digital twin. Now imagine we're going to come into, and we're not so far away. I watched a video on this last night of being able to create unique environments within Blender and doing some different augmented things where I could literally create my own metaverse on the fly inside the environment, right? Being able to create your own games, being able to say, oh, I want to have this character walk around and I got this kind of gun and I'm shooting these kind of creatures and I want to be in this kind of landscape, right? And it's going to be really wild. So it's really, what can you imagine? What can you create? And then how do you use these technologies to kind of piece it all together? Because we're at the point now that all you really have to do is be able to think it, which to me, Mona, makes me think more so day after day. The more creative and the more cool things that I'm creating using these tools so quickly, it makes me think, oh my God, how are humans not in a simulation? Because one day God created the earth and the sky, boom, and he just typed it in his Mid-Journey GPT, and boom, and here was the earth. So we're like some sort of maybe biosynthetic algorithm of some sort that has this spatial awareness, but we're learning self-awareness somehow. I
But
don't know.
Travis, there is a huge learning curve here. I mean, people have to almost go back to school to learn. This is a new thing that we all have to learn,
We do.
and hopeful. I mean, right now it's like each one teach one situation, right? And
It
thankfully
is.
everyone is teaching everybody, each
Mhm.
other, I should say. But there is a
Well,
huge learning curve here that we have to get over.
yeah, the huge learning
Yeah.
curve. And I think here's and you go, well, why do I even care? This is great. You create a little corn characters. Who cares? Well, I would say this is we're entering into a massive age of the haves versus the have-nots. If you know how to use AI to augment your skills and you can be 10x Travis, and then you're still 1x Mona, well, then guess what? The 10x Travis is going to eat your lunch, right? So you
Yeah.
need to figure out, and it's not necessarily what I do is going to be what you're going to do, but ChatGPT 4 and soon ChatGPT 5 and soon Midjourney 6 and all these other technologies that Google's coming out with and Microsoft and Nvidia is doing all kinds of amazing things. Like the world is changing, and if you're not adapting to it, you will be a have not, and you're gonna stand in line and get your little CBDC from the government so you can have your little UBI, and they'll tell you what you can and can't use your money for because you didn't take any time to learn about these technologies that could have set you up, and instead you're set behind.
You heard it. You heard it, folks. Not a financial advice, but
Right.
Travis and I have a different show that you guys can check into where we tell you what government is up to.
We don't
That
have
you
that
have to
show. We
subscribe
don't.
to.
That
I'm
show's on
just
the dark web. It's not. It's not.
we are just joking. We're kidding. But I mean, it is fascinating, and you're absolutely right. We are still early, but and we are early adopters. We really are. But this is the time to start paying attention. This is the time to start asking questions and looking around and seeing, hey, who's doing it? Knock on their door and say, how did you do that? Show me. And people are really willing to, just like yourself, willing to come here tonight, be on my very first live show, which, hey, we pulled it off. Not
Great
bad. We
job,
just,
Mona. I'm so proud of you. The
thank you,
coolest
thank you.
lady in Web3 right there, sitting right there or over there. I don't know where it is. Like it's right there.
Soon it's going to be my avatar, very, very soon. But it was
Oh,
only inevitable that I start doing live. But thank you so much, Travis,
my pleasure.
for being my very first live guest
Thank you
tonight.
for the
I think
honor.
we had a couple of people come in and out. So whoever you were, thank you for showing your support. With everything that you explained, it's really clear and evident that AI and Web3 can and will make each other better. There is no need for competition, but only the convergence of the two to really unleash this like limitless creativity. There's efficiency and there's so much value that we're all learning about. So thank you for sharing your insight. Where can people follow you and where can they learn about your projects?
For sure. If you go to badmedia.io, that has all the different sites on there. I don't actually, you know what? I need to update it to put Cornytopia on there. So Cornytopia as well is another great place. You can find me on LinkedIn and the Twitters and all of that. Normally, just type in Sir Lord Travis. It's a joke because I have some land in Scotland. I have like a meter of land, and they made me a lord, and so it's just
I love
hilarious.
it.
And so it's
And
not hoity-toity. I'm just a damn lord, and you can deal with it.
And I will put the Linktree link in the note section for you guys as well. Travis is a wealth of information and skills when it comes to Web3, AI, NFTs, all of it. So link up with him, ask questions. He's always willing to, and he has his own podcast as well. Travis, your podcast is on Spotify and Apple.
It's on all of them. We have Bad Crypto, we have Bad AI, we have the Web3 show. So we're doing all of those and different platforms, different partners, and piecing it all out there. It's just fun to talk about this stuff and explore this stuff. And so that's why it's all on badmedia.io. Check that out, and that'll lead you down the little rabbit holes.
Well, we love going down rabbit holes. Thank you again for joining me tonight. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for today, or tonight, I should say. I hope you enjoyed the discussion just as much as I did. We'll be back again next week with more hot topics in the metaverse. Until then, I'm your host, Mona. Stay well.